welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. Those listening on YouTube, those listening on a podcast platform, big up to each and every single one of you, because this is a big game. Newcastle versus Tottenham, St James's Park. It's a Tuesday night game. It was a double Premier League game week for Tottenham at the moment. It is real struggles, therapy sessions when I'm talking to you guys through podcasts, through videos, through shorts. Hopefully this will end. Is this the game to do so? Well, joining me to answer all of that and talk about the game, I am joined for this opposition preview. That's the key part here by Newcastle fan Jay from Howay the Mags TV, and also he's one of my thumbnail and graphic designers. So Jay, firstly, how are you? And secondly, thank you for all the work that you do. Would you like to tell people a little bit about your role and the kind of stuff you do for me?
Just getting over the flu. Still feeling quite rough. I'm having to wear my shades because my eyes are still quite puffy.
Oh, no.
Not long got home from work. I help you out with thumbnails and everything that I can when I can as a graphics designer myself, as well as working with my own channel, and always happy to help out when I can, and obviously you've been on my channel as well, so it's a win-win for both.
Absolutely, Jay. Really appreciate you and all the work you do. Very, very helpful. So thank you. Very key part of the team. And thank you, as I said, to everyone that has joined us today. Please do get involved. Let us know where you're listening from, how you feel right now as a Tottenham fan, as a neutral, and as a Newcastle fan. But without further ado, we will get straight into it. Jay, I want to very briefly speak about Newcastle and your season review kind of so far with your thoughts. How are you feeling so far? Because would it be fair to say that it's been a bit up and down and maybe a little bit better in recent weeks? You know, we got that win, of course, against Manchester City. Most recently, the win against Everton, for example. Then you lose, though, in between that to Marseille. But I thought you played well. So maybe you've turned a corner. Would you agree?
Oh, it's a tough one. When I'm looking at our own stats, so far, it's not going through the whole entire season, but so far, this is Eddie Howe's worst spell as Newcastle manager. Our away form has been absolutely shocking. We've not won an away game since April. Marseille, we were there until we scored the first goal, and then it just what turned every single Newcastle fan, I believe, was just Nick Pope when he made that silly error. But within 15 seconds, they equalised, and then not long after they took the lead. We threw the game away straight from the start of the second half. Against Brentford, we took the lead. Nick Pope error. We lose against West Ham. Nick Pope error. We lose against Arsenal. Nick Pope error. We lose. I'm so glad we finally getting Ramsdale in goal. So happy that we managed to pull off what shocked me the most. I had us down to lose against Everton, but we pulled off an amazing win against Everton. So hopefully that turns our away form around. But home, we seem to be doing well. I don't think the performances are there at home, but we do have that crowd behind us, and I think most people know how much of a reception they get when they come to St James's Park. The crowd is always there, even through the winter colds. They're all there with the tops off and everything. They just love the area. But I was at one point how out because of the away form, thinking that he's taken us as far as he can. But he's starting to prove us wrong. We've demanded Ramsdale. We're finally seeing Ramsdale. I thought he had a decent game against Everton. He didn't have much to do, but hopefully he can play again on tomorrow. And I want to see him have a good run of games.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Interesting you mentioned that. Nick Pope moment against Marseille. It's very similar to Vicario's against Fulham, if you saw it. In terms of, when I say similar, they both made a catastrophic error. But I want to ask you about that Vicario moment then, as we move into Tottenham just a little bit. Can you even understand what he's trying to do? Because you get mistakes in football, and everyone's entitled to them. Vicario's been great for Tottenham this season. It's important to say. Kept us in so many games. The reason we've got so many points, Champions League, etc., Premier League. But what is he doing? Because, like defender, they put the ball in their own net, for example, when they slash out because they're trying to prevent the striker from scoring. It looks awful. You think, oh my God, humiliating own goal on the highlights reel. But you can understand what they're trying to do. So what do you make of that Vicario moment? And do you understand even what he's trying to do? Because I don't.
I I have no clue what he was doing. I was watching the game, and when he'd done that, my immediate thought was he's just done a Nick Pope. I'm calling every error like that. They're doing a Nick Pope. Why has he come so far out of the area? A goalkeeper's plan is to always use their hands. They're never always going to be able to use their feet unless they're like a player like, Edison, who's actually pretty decent with his feet, or Allison can sometimes use his feet quite well. I don't think Vicario was in the right mind of what he'd done. For me, I think keepers should always stay in their area because they can command it well. They can use their hands in there because if you're out of the area, as Nick Pope's done when he cost us the first Carabao Cup final, he came out of the area, he used his hands. I believe keepers should always stay in the area. I have no idea why Vicario has to go practically to the corner flag, leaving your entire goal exposed, and it was a silly goal to concede, to be honest.
Totally. Before we move on to the game, though, Eddie Howe, where do you stand? Are you still behind him? Of course, had a few years now at the club. Was it nearly 4 years? And I think he's done a good job, but there'll always be, won't there, those questions in terms of, do you need an elite manager to get you to that next level, to win trophies, and eventually after that to achieve sustained success? I'm sure they're valid arguments, but I'm interested to know where you stand at this moment with Eddie Howe.
For me, when Eddie first came in, I always thought that it was going to be like a Manchester City type of situation. When the Man City were taken over, Mark Hughes was brought in, steadied the ship, and then they went on and got Mancini, I think it was, and then that's when the trophies started to come. I always thought Eddie Howe was going to be our version of a Mark Hughes, come in, steady the ship, and then we'll go for a bigger and better. Eddie's not done too bad. I'll give him that. He's done well. He's developed players like Joe Linton. He was never a striker to begin with. He's brought him in as a midfielder now, and we've seen what an absolute beast he can be in that midfield role. I mean, like I said, this season is currently his worst as manager so far. In terms of another elite manager, the fact of who's there that can come in and do the job. Yes, Eddie Howe's won our first trophy in over 70 years now. It's difficult. I have recently been Eddie out. I've always felt that maybe a foreign manager would be the best option for us. There's not many decent British managers out there. I was sad when Rafa Benitez left us because he was doing well for us, but he was quite a defensive coach. Eddie is more attacking, even though I really hate seeing that when we go 5 at the back. I do like his 4-3-3, but I preferred the 4-3-3 that Alan Pardew used to use for us way back when, as it was more solid, more attacking. And I mean, I think everyone will remember the famous going 4-0 down to Arsenal and coming back and drawing the game 4-4 under Alan Pardew. But I'm on the fence. I'm leaning to falling off the fence and saying how out. But really? I'm going to give him to the derby. The derby's going to be the big one.
That's soon, isn't it? It's coming up.
Yeah. It's coming up next, after Burnley. Yeah, after next week.
Not long at all. So in the early part of December still. Thank you, Jay, for that. Let's move into this game then. Newcastle Tottenham at James's Park, Tuesday night, Premier League. That should be a good one. We move into another game week 14. For you, how do you feel going into it as a Newcastle fan? Like you said there, you spoke about Newcastle fans just a few minutes ago and kind of reception and atmosphere in general at St James's Park. Do you think that could come to your advantage? You may have looked at Tottenham recently and don't you think of maybe the mentality or the kind of confidence around the camp? Because I can tell you as a Spurs fan, there isn't much kind of mental will or anything there. So do you think that Tottenham could crumble potentially in this pressure?
Oh, looking at the previous results, you've lost your last 3 matches in a row in all competitions, but you do rank 3rd away from home, so you do have a decent away form. We have a terrible away form, but I think as recent seasons have gone by, we do seem to be Spurs' bogey team of late, as we have been. not lost in our last 6 meetings against each other, winning 5 and drawing 1. So that fills me with a lot more confidence going into our game. And we've already faced you this season so far in the Carabao Cup and managed to pull off a victory in that. So yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident for this one.
And your team, it's easy to sit here, isn't it? And say easy, of course, still not. But the point is, it's generic and boring to go. What's your predicted lineup? So I like to do things a little bit differently. What would be your lineup if you were Newcastle manager? What would be your 11? And not talking in general, I'm talking for this game in particular.
For my 11, I wouldn't want to go for the 4-3-3. As much as I love the 4-3-3, I think we need to start moving away from that. I would go for a 4-2-3-1 formation. I'd have Ramsdale in goal. I think Nick Pope's time has got to come to an end now. Ramsdale needs to start. Left back has to be Lewis Hall. He's shown by far at a young age he is an amazing left back.
Yeah,
I'd put him much higher than Lewis Skelly. Right back Tino Livramento, again young and full of energy. Centre back pairing has to be Malik Chow and Sven Botman. Those two are an absolute beast at the centre back role. We have to now think about moving on Dan Burnham and Fabian Schär because their age is really concerning now, being way into their 30s. Two central midfielders would have to be Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. Sandro has been amazing since he came back from his 10-month ban. He's shown loyalty to the club. He signed a long-term contract behind closed doors, so no one heard of it. So we've tied him down until 2030. Bruno, he's always said he wants to be a legend at the club, and I'm not all with Bruno being captain. I don't think he can handle the pressure of the armband.
All right.
I feel if he would play better when he didn't have the armband, I would have kept Trippier as captain if I was perfectly honest. Attacking free, I would have Harvey Barnes as a left winger. As Anthony Gordon for me, I'm on the verge of saying get rid because I'm not happy with him right at the moment. When he first signed, he started well. His next season, he really burst onto the scene. Since Liverpool had their interest in him, his head's been turned. He's not had a goal. He's apart from the 4 goals he has scored in the Champions League, you take that away, he has not had a goal involvement in over 20 plus games. So I would keep Harvey Barnes in there because he is firing on all cylinders. Right wing, I've not really liked Anthony Elanga. I think we've wasted our money on him. He's not done anything yet. He got his first assist for the club against Everton, so I probably would keep him in the side. Other than that, I would have Jacob Murphy as right winger. And then in the attacking midfield role, I want to put Lewis Miley in there, but I think he's more of a central midfielder because there's no drop in Miley after his amazing performance against Everton. Grabbing an assist, grabbing a goal. Who knew that? No one knew that he could take set pieces. The way he delivered that corner to Malik Chow it stunned everyone. But for the attacking midfield role, I'd throw in Jacob Ramsey. He's not being given a chance. We've paid all this money for Jacob Ramsey, and he's not getting any minutes under his belt. It's the same with Ramsdale. Even though we've got him on loan, we're not giving him a chance. So most of the signings that we've made in the summer has been questionable. And then up top, you're going to have big Nick Voltemada because Wissa is still out at the minute, even though in Eddie's press conference this morning, he has said that Wissa has made a behind closed doors 11-a-side match and has played that, and he's playing another 11-a-side match behind closed doors this week. So it's looking like he could potentially be on the bench and be back ready for the derby.
That's huge. That's really big. I mean, you've got 3 strikers, haven't you? You've got Asula, Wissa, and Voltemada. So do you think that's stronger than you had last season with Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak?
Oh, honestly, I don't know. Osula, I do like Osula. I think he's got some brilliant pace. He's got brilliant footwork, but I think his feet let him down most of the time. As soon as he picks the ball up, yes, he can run. He can hold the ball up well, but then as soon as it comes to shooting, I think his shots are quite weak. But I really do like him. But there's now been talk that he's going to be off to Eintracht Frankfurt as soon as the window opens, which is then
Permanently
going
or on loan?
it's going to be loan with option to buy.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to see him go. I think he's developing well. Visser, again, I think it's just like Alanga. I think that was a waste of money.
An upgrade on Callum Wilson? No.
Oh,
I think so.
There's the age factor. We could have
Yeah,
if we went in and got him at 40 mil at the start of the summer window. That might have been fine, but we dragged it out for so long. We could have had him for 40 mil before Mbeumo left to join Man United. But then as soon as Mbeumo left, up goes the price. They then wanted 60, 70. Every time we offered the amount, Brentford would put the price up even more. Finally agreed on about 60 mil for him. Then he goes and gets injured for Congo. We've missed him for half a season now. So it's like we've paid 60 mil for a half a season player when his contract was already up this season and we could have got him for free at the end of the season. So I do feel that was £60 million very much wasted.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I do like Wilson. I think you've got that grade in Wilson, in my opinion. But as you said, you definitely overpaid. I do feel that. But it depends if you're looking at value for money or quality of striker. But thank you very much for that. Before we end with your end of season predictions, I want to get your score prediction, Jay, honest score prediction and scorers for this game.
Honest score prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle win. I feel that Spurs will grab a goal. Again, with their away form being their strong point, so they will fight hard. We're not going to have Botman in the side, so our central defensive area is going to be a little on the weaker side. But I feel that we will end up naming quite a strong side, if not naming the same side that faced Everton. And with the fans behind us and in front of the cameras, we tend to turn up when the cameras are on us. So I'm positive of a 2-1 Newcastle win.
Who do you think's getting the goals?
Oh, I'm going to say Nick Voltemade is going to grab another goal, and we'll go with possibly Joel Linton. I think when Joel Linton first joined, he had a nice little scoring record against Tottenham straight from the off. So we'll go Nick Voltemade and Joel Linton.
Yeah, certainly. This is where he started, didn't he? So his first goal was a strike when he played at that striker position. Steve Bruce, was it against Tottenham? Orange
1-0 win.
I remember that quite well. Funny, I had little moments like that stick with you. But yeah, he never turned out to be a striker. I do think that's a good example of Eddie Howe, like where he is a really good manager. Like Joe Linton clearly come in as a striker, bought as a striker, and planned to play as a striker. But Eddie Howe realizes, okay, it's not right for you, or you're not great in that position, converts him into midfielder. Do you think Howe gets enough credit for that? And just there's loads of examples. That's just one of them where he literally completely, not even slightly, transforms a player's position, and they're better as a result.
Oh, definitely. Joel Linton as a striker was never going to work. I think he played for Hoffenheim as a left winger. He was not too bad on the left wing, but as a striker and giving him the number 9, I mean, you have to earn the number 9. The number 9 is legendary. I don't know what it's like at Spurs, but number 9 at Newcastle, you have a Shearer that has the number 9. And unless you can really score goals, there's no way you deserve that number 9 shirt. Callum Wilson earned it with his goal scoring. Obafemi Martins at one point had the number 9. You have to earn that number 9. So having Joel Linton as number 9 did not work. He would never really score much. Eddie Howe comes in, converts him into a midfielder, and within a few months, you see what a beast he's become as a central midfielder now, and that is the most positive thing he could have ever done for him. He is an amazing player. He has not been as lethal as he has been this season. I think he's dropped off form a little bit. Against Everton, we saw a slight improvement in him, so hopefully that little patch has ended now and we can see the best out of him. But yeah, I mean, moving him into his right position is definitely the more comfortable for him, and I think he's more comfortable in himself now.
Jay, thank you. Appreciate your honesty with that. I just wanted to add that in. But end of season predictions then. Start with your club, Newcastle. Where will you finish in the Premier League and then the Champions League?
Oh, I'd like to say we'd win the Champions League, but I don't think that's going to happen just yet. We're in a good position. I mean, we next up we've got Leverkusen, which is not very positive, but I think we can finish in a top 8 position and go on to the knockouts. I feel we can reach the last 16 before falling out. Season Premier League wise, I had us down to potentially finish top 5. The way the season's gone so far, I'm probably going to say top 8. So roughly, we'll go minimum 7th.
Okay, appreciate your honesty with that. And would you be happy with that?
Depending on how all the other results go, and if every English club doesn't want to win a trophy this time round in all European competitions, that should secure Europe for us. So. Yeah, I mean it's been a weird one this season, having near enough half the league in Europe, and that's you'd never hear of that probably ever again.
So true. Yeah, so they're not going to be like that, I don't think. Well, he says, but I have to say, I don't think there's going to be quite as strong English teams in Europe. I think it'll be okay, but like you saw last week was a little bit. Almost, I'd say, catastrophic. The results weren't great. You know, Tottenham losing. Of course, you lost, which I thought you were really good in that game, if I'm honest with you, and just imploded in that Nick Pope mistake. And then you concede again, boom. All your hard work has gone within, 3 or 4 minutes of the restart. But yeah, we lost. You lost. There's a few others, wasn't there? I know Chelsea were the big one that got a result, to be fair, so they got a result. But I think Palace lost as well, didn't there? A few that, anyway, English teams across all 3 competitions that didn't get a result. But Jay, can I ask you before I let you go, my club Tottenham, where do you think they will finish in the Premier League and the Champions League?
I mean, Tottenham really held themselves well against PSG. It's a tough one. Tottenham are playing well. I think Frank needs time. I don't think everyone should be calling for his head just yet. He's only not long joined.
Absolutely.
He done well at Brentford. He had a long time at Brentford. He built a team there. I say let Thomas Frank build his squad. Let him give him at least a season. Let him build a squad. Let him have a couple of windows. Then start seeing what he can do. I mean, you had Ange Postecoglou. He said he'll win a trophy within 2 seasons. He did get you a trophy within 2 seasons. Give Thomas Frank about 2 seasons. If you start dropping off by the end of the January window and say you fall into the bottom half of the table, then okay, maybe alarm bells might start ringing. You can start calling for him, but I'd say give him a chance, and I still think you could probably finish top 8.
Okay, thank you, Spurs. Do you feel this like to turn a little bit on Frank, as how I feel, but I don't agree with that. Jay, thank you very much. Great to talk to you today. Really appreciate your time, because I know you are ill or recovering from being ill and just come home from work. So appreciate that commitment. Where can people follow you and across social media firstly, but also listen to your channel?
Oh, right there, you can see Howay Mags TV, just at Howay Mags TV on Twitter. You'll find me there. Same on Insta. And on YouTube as well, Howay Mags TV. I do all Newcastle previews, and also I lurk around other sport channels to see if they do any bloopers, and I clip them all and make my own little blooper show as well. So if you want to have a laugh or anything, just hop on over to the blooper show where I make my extremely British alter ego person appear as a host and just go mad and just show off all the bloopers and out the people from which I do need to give myself a blooper because I ended up muting Harry about 2 times on my preview. So you can also check that out over on my channel.
Didn't have to hear me. I'm sure you're blessed in disguise having me on mute. But Jay, thank you so much for your time, and thank you to everyone that's listened in. I hope you did enjoy this opposition preview for this game. It is a big one. Can Tottenham get a response? Let us know if you think they can. As a Spurs fan, I'm not feeling confident, but thanks for watching, and a massive come on you Spurs.
It's like a song.